Hey, Gator fans. Okay, so we recapped what happened yesterday with Tennessee. We kind of went over the good, the bad, and the ugly. Not a whole lot of good, although the defense obviously has really turned a corner and stepped up the last couple of weeks. But I did want to kind of share some former player thoughts with you. And the former players were vocal on social media last night. I saved a few of the tweets and I want to talk about it with you guys. So Ahmad Black tweeted a couple different things. His first one was, I hope this is all y'all need to see. And keep in mind, this is a guy who was bought in at the beginning of this tenure, somebody who hung around practice, is coaching in high school currently. So very in tune to what recruits are thinking and, the Lakeland area in general, but interesting there. John Halapio, who was an offensive lineman for Florida back in the day, he said this was irritating and annoying. This game should have been a blowout. And he's right? It should have been a blowout. Florida could have been easily up 17-0 going into halftime. And I think that's probably being conservative. Maybe could have been up 21-0. He also tweeted, you do a QB sneak when Johnson got us down to the goal line. How about you hand it off to Johnson again? I think that's kind of something that a lot of us were thinking, right? And, I had a tweet about feeling a little bit gaslit that we needed inches with DJ Lagway, our 240-pound quarterback, and we try and get it to the edge instead of just having him take it right up the gut. But then the next series with our quarterback who we maybe shouldn't try a QB sneak with, right? And we need more. We need a yard. That's when we decided to call a QB sneak, which he fumbles, but Johnson got us to that position. So what John's saying is exactly right. Why in the world did we not let Montrell try and get that touchdown? Another Ahmad Black tweet, another loss to a rival. Guys played their butts off. All of Gator Nation knows why we lost this game, and it ain't the players. Good night. I do think that there's a lot of Gator Nation that feels this way. There were points in this season, earlier in the season, where I absolutely questioned effort. And I think a lot of people did. But that was not this game. These players left it all out on the field. We saw the defense turn it up a notch. We saw this defensive line flying around. They have found those motors. They've cranked them up. And it wasn't enough. Shannon Snell tweeted, shaking my head, yeah, I'm checked out. I think a lot of you guys feel that way, right? There's only so much complaining, bitching that we can do when it's not changing anything. Steve Harris, Gator D and O, y'all hold your head up. Definitely could have been better outing. Billy, you got to hand over them keys. You got my baby mad. And then he shared a picture of his daughter or a video of his daughter. She was very upset. I get it. My 10-year-old asks me daily when Coach Napier is going to be fired. So Steve, I feel you on that. These little ones want some accountability here. But Steve's pissed, and I think rightfully so. Omar Hunter, former offensive lineman for Florida, please at Gator Football, fix this mess. Yeah, it is a mess. Chandler Parsons played basketball for Florida. Gator great. Got to go for two there, man. On the road versus a top 10 team with the season and job security already smoked. I feel that, right? Why not go for two? And listen, I could go either way on this. I totally 100% get behind going for two. What I don't understand is you're going to throw some trick play out there, and then the second they burn a timeout that you knew they had. This is the end of regulation. You get no extra points for keeping these timeouts. And then that makes you change your game plan here, right? Scared money don't make money. That's what we were sold on. That's what we saw. Billy Horschel, respect to the Gator players for playing hard and giving it their all. Over the last 2.5 years of this regime, they have always have and had to have a ton of respect for that, especially when you aren't getting results. Hashtag always a Gator. And he's right. The positive of the Billy Napier era is that these players are bought in, right? They care about each other. They have a common goal here. They are working hard. All of those things are positive, but they're not winning. So I don't know. You don't get flowers for doing the right thing, but not having good results. D Webb actually tweeted me. I said, would have been nice to have that 3 there at the end of the half, which we should have had that 3. He tweeted, really more like 14 we left out there before half in the red zone. Shaking my head. Steve Harris, I can only read these in my Steve Harris voice, which is very animated and excited, but he said, proud of all of our freshmen. You guys went on the road and put up a fight against a solid team. It's not easy. That's a tough environment. Don't let this one get you down. Build on this. DJ, the keys are officially yours now. Go do what we know you will do. Be great. So, Billy, this is your last chance. Let's see if this offense looks like it. What this offense looks like with a full week of preparation, with DJ behind the wheel and a healthy set of wide receivers. It's time for us to see this dynamic plan you have for DJ, since it seems you won't let go of play calling. I promise you one thing: it better be awesome. You did a good job getting him here. Truly, I believe he was already a Gator at heart. However, this may be your only chance to test drive it. Defense has answered the call. Offense has always been a question, but was severely overshadowed by poor defense. However, that's not the case anymore. The last hope people were hanging on to save your job is to see you operate with DJ well. Here it is, and I will be watching intently. While I appreciate everything you've done getting the house in order, you get paid to make sure we produce on the field. So in the event it doesn't turn out well next week, don't call college hunks. I'm available, and I have boxes. Whew. Okay. Well, so were all the former players against him, in their social media kind of outbursts? Not all of them. Ciatric Faison, who was an incredible running back for the Gators, also a high school coach in the area, tweeted, 6 head coaches in the past 24 years so far is terrible. That is why we are truly struggling. Majority of the time, a new coach comes in, we are in a rebuild phase, but then we fire coaches after 2 or 3 years to go back to rebuild. The cycle has to end somewhere. True story. Keep Billy Napier for real. And, I understand Ciatric's sentiments here, and I understand that it is going to hurt the brand eventually when you fire a coach every 2 to 3 years. But I think the time to have maybe given a little bit more grace, to allow a little bit more time, was maybe Muschamp, right? I think that if he could have gotten that offense clicking, that defense was one of the top in college football. I think he had what it takes. He could have been successful if given more time. I also kind of feel like if we would have figured out what got Dan Mullen checked out at the very end there, that Dan Mullen could have worked out. This was a coach who took us to 3 New Year's Six bowls. I think I could have seen the argument for more grace there. I've always said that firing him was potentially punting on 3rd down, right? I don't know that I think that that's the situation here, though. There has been no improvement. Year 1, he won 6 games. Year 2, he won 5 games. We've got 3 right now, and it's hard to see where wins are going to come down the road. Even if we pick up Kentucky and Florida State, do you get past 5? I don't know. Seems like last night was a golden opportunity for that. Class ranking for recruiting. First year, 18th class. Next year, 13th class. Last year, 13th class. You know where we're ranked right now? 36, and probably dropping. Total offense, year 1 was ranked 46th. Year 2 was ranked 47th. Right now, 84th. Total defense. First year, 91st. Second year, 91st. This year, currently ranked 98th. Besides signing DJ Lagway, throw LJ McCoy in there too, all right? It's just hard to see where those concepts of a plan are being put into action here right now. And I think that that's why people are so frustrating. We don't see the blueprint. Coach Napier told us when he came that it was going to take time. This plan was going to take time. Our foundation was going to be built on cement and not wood. And I think that that's something that all of us could wrap our heads around. And I think we could still have our heads wrapped around it if there was some proof of concept, right? If we saw incremental improvement, okay, 6 wins, 7 wins, 8 wins, recruiting class rankings increasing, progress, not perfection, progress. But I don't think there's any category that you can really point to and say massive progress has been made here. I mean, our special teams are good this year, but they were so terrible the 2 previous years that I don't know that you get flowers for just having a serviceable special teams unit, right? Our defense has been good the last 2 weeks. Will that maintain? I don't know. We're about to get into the meat of this schedule, run the gauntlet, so to speak. So I don't know what this defense is going to look like in a couple weeks. But statistically, there hasn't been improvement anywhere. So I get everybody's frustration. How do you guys feel? I want to talk about it in the comments. Did you see positives from that game and you think that there's room for growth in the season? You know, there's some progress to be made, or are you checked out like some of these guys? Let's talk about it. Got a lot more content that's going to be coming at you this week. It is Kentucky Hate Week. Got to get that monkey off our back, right? Kentucky has been a bear for us the last 4 or 5 years, and it is time to get back to beating the Cats. In all kinds of weather, go Gators.